Thank you for tuning into the latest episode of the SplashCast, your go-to podcast for news and discussion in the world of sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with some difficulties of the technical variety, a callback to way back in the day.
Technical difficulties is the name of the first episode. Yes, sir. But welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 185 of the SplashCast Monday Night Raw. I'm your co-host, Reggie.
I'm your co-host, Norwood, and I'm driving this car. I might not know where we're going.
Yeah, that GPS, the battery went dead on the
rerouting
real quick.
Rerouting. You're like, hey, bro, help me.
Y'all know what it is. So if you're watching this live on YouTube, you got a sneak peek. We were just sitting here, and I just happened to turn on the YouTube to see where we were. I was like, is that live? Is that us right now?
Right.
It is.
But you can also see right here the screen saying, no, it's not. Podcasting is more difficult than y'all think. And this is a perfect time that if you would like to join Dybantsa Media and learn, there's not a better place to do it.
Would you like to be the executive producer? We know a lot of y'all out there that like the podcast. A lot of y'all that work in the industry. Hey, we are leaning on our friendships. That's what we're
leaning on the everlasting right now.
Turning 40. Hey, we got time is limited. So if we friends, if I can help you, if you can help me, we need an executive producer.
Also, if you want a show, just come on here, ready to work.
Yeah, come on, man. Dybantsa Media Network. But y'all know what it is when it comes to episodes. Monday Night Raw. All of our episodes, we do our HBCU news around the culture, followed by either football or basketball, whatever is in season. So, of course, today it's going to be basketball. Then it will be football to round out the episode. If you're listening to the recording or playback of this, go back and listen to Mic Check, formerly known as the pregame. Talked about Braves. Also talked about the Foolish Pirates and Hunter Green and the state of culture and the state of baseball in the minority culture, as well as Jordan Brand, and we celebrated Black swimmers. Wow, that was a lot. Let's get started. You have this Mickey Joseph clip?
Absolutely.
Here, so while and if they're sophomores and they have a big year and a group of five or a power five approach them and they have the finances to pull them out of there and I can't match the finances, then you know what, they're gonna go. That's part of it. Coaches been doing it for years, so we shouldn't get mad as coaches when these kids make decisions to take care of their family. Because like I said, I'm gonna say it again, coaches been doing it for years. But I also think there need to be a buyout. If they move up from me and go to group of five and power five, I should get kind of a compensation for that, you know? So NCAA, if you're listening to me, I need a buyout.
So essentially, what he's saying is, this is Mickey Joseph. He is the new coach of Grambling, the Grambling State football team. And he is saying, look, we can't compete with the NILs from the LSUs or really even the University of Louisiana Raging Cajuns, or like Georgia Tech, Georgia State, all of those teams.
Back, boy, God.
All Florida, they have all of those. They have all the NIL and all the money and the backing of even people that don't even go to that school because it's the state school or it's a Power 5, Group of 5 school. So all they do is just come and throw the bag at him and just take all of our players. So this is a great thought for him to say, if you want to take our players, it needs to be a buyout. You need to compensate us for getting our players. Essentially, like soccer. This is what he's proposing is international soccer rules, where you have to pay the club, pay the fee to get the player.
For me, first of all, I like his frankness. He did mince his words. He said, no, coaches do this all the time. You know, it's really about the opportunity. And the opportunity at the end of the day, specifically as we talk about NIL and where that is now, it's not just, it's the primary focus isn't winning a championship nearly as much as it was. I'm not going to say it's not at all, because it is. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to win. But I think that we're now in a place where more people are like, I would like to change my family's financial situation forever. So you can't really, hold those kids to a standard and say, hey, don't go get your money. We say it all the time, secure the bag. So he's saying, you're right. Go get the money, change your family's life. Just in the process, if you're going to take all of our good players, because that's all they're going to do, and we've kind of suggested that's a good model, is compensate me so I'm not left with nothing. And I don't know exactly how that happens, but it's surely an interesting thought process for sure. And maybe you do that with like an FBS to FCS. So
well, yeah, that's what he's suggesting.
Yeah.
He suggested FBS to FCS, which makes more sense because the FBS or Division I for your old heads can pay the Division II the money, whereas a Division II schools is going to be very difficult for them
2 to
to
2
pay
is
another
lateral.
division school. Yeah.
1 to 1 is lateral. Going down. I mean, they probably not concerned.
No, we're not paying you. No, we're not gonna pay you because your player want to leave. No, this is when you come try to take our players. So so if that's the case, I do it. I like it. I like it. He's right. The coaches do it all the time. I don't know. I know how you would do it. I think this is a rule that will have to come down from the NCAA, and it would have to be some structure in place. I don't think you can do that.
This is not something you figure out like I think tomorrow. I think the biggest thing is you have to first open the door to have the conversation and understand, hey, this is not really a fair system. And I know that things will never probably be totally fair, but if we're going to take these players and we think that the players should go to where the financial situation is better, don't leave us with the bare cover and nothing. So, yeah, I think that there's a way to I think the majority of things as far as NIL are concerned, there's a way to a reasonable place. My biggest issue was I hate that the rabbit had to get the gun before we started using reason. And that's typically how things go in this country is as long as the rich have it, then it's not a problem. It's when the poor start getting a couple dollars or get a little control. And then it's like, oh, we have a problem we have to fix. No, we've been had a problem. You just didn't give a shit before.
Nope, you didn't. And now, and what it really is, and we're going to talk about it in basketball too. Shoot, that now at the point, because y'all don't have any rules in place, everybody can make money, and they're making money. It's the wild, wild west. So why not compensate us and let us get some money for it? And then we'll grow our own athletic department. Now, that's a conundrum that they may not want to do, though. And the proverbial they is the same day that I talked about in Mike Check.
I guess my thing is for them, high tide raises all ships. They're still going to be able to poach the players because they're just going to have more money. So for them, it's just an opportunity for you to get a better player. You're going to end up with better players.
It's Let me float this by you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go. No.
Let me float this by you because we brought this up before, and I didn't want to draw this out, but I actually really want to have this conversation because it's something that affects all of our community. What do you think about like feeders? Like, there's the unofficial feeders of Florida State and FAMU. LSU and Southern, not so much anymore. It happened once or twice, but you most of the time they go to Grambling. But LSU, your feeder schools, your Southern Misses go to Alcorn State, or Mississippi State goes to. What do you think about that in terms of just setting up and just go ahead and set it up that way? Hey, we're the feeder. You could come if you want to come and take some players, and you guys can work your way up, and they'll pay you more money. It is what it is. What do you think about that thought?
I think that for me, it should be like that should be an institutional thing. I think that I don't know if you could do that like per se officially, but for me, yes. If I'm the head coach of Florida State, then yes, I need to have a FAMU person. I need to have somebody on my staff that damn near is on the FAMU staff, and vice versa, because I need somebody. I always say, all these players not going pro, all y'all not going to have a good season. The best thing for you might be to, hey, man, let me go to Tallahassee. Let me get an education. Let me go be an engineer somewhere, like Big Reg. So I think that should be a more concerted effort. I mean, hell, I think the same thing with the pros. We look at how many UGA players the Falcons have missed. I think that we know because I ruined the draft conversation. But yes, that I don't understand how that's like everybody's so isolated on their own island. But for HBCUs, and I think that this, if you want to be a politician, these are the type of things that you should be working on. These are things that are going to put you in good light for a lot of different voters.
That's a good point. Dang, I forgot what I had a point, but I laughed and I forgot it. But I'll remember it later on. But I like the feeder. Oh, and vice versa. So what made me think of this was, if you remember the ESPN 30 for 30 on Randy Moss, and he was at Notre Dame. I mean, he was at Florida State, and he went down. He was at Notre Dame, and then he got kicked out before he could even go to Notre Dame. He had the problems or whatever.
Yeah.
What's his name, man with the teeth? Lou Holtz called Bobby Bowden and said, "Hey, I can't take this guy, but he's like the best receiver I've ever seen play in my life." And he called Bobby Bowden and said, "Go down there to Florida State." And then, of course, he got in trouble for the joint. He ended up at Marshall. But the thing is, I want us to have that relationship to where, hey, you ain't got to call Bobby Bowden, or Bobby Bowden may not be able to take him. Right. And you could come there, go to FAMU. Now, Randy Moss is a special case because Randy Moss, again, is the best receiver that anybody had ever seen. But there, that same premise can be taken in every other player, every other light.
But we also have to do a better job at HBCUs of when somebody leaves, letting them leave. Because I'm thinking, of course, of Coach Simmons at Florida International, and I don't know how he feels about FAMU or sending players there, or vice versa, because they didn't really end on the best terms. But for me,
I say, yeah, you do. He ain't said nothing since he left. Nothing.
I was
not a word
to not say that, but yeah, it's got to be that. And I will say that I hope that he reconnects that, because I think the people that he wasn't really a fan of or weren't a fan of him have moved on to other places as well. So, and it's just it's one of those situations where, once again, we got to get along. Whether or not we always like each other doesn't matter. We're in this together. We're clearly better together than separately. So even in the moments where you may not like that person, or I mean, in any situation, there's going to be a part of it that you don't like or love. I mean, trust me, the Falcons ain't killing it, and the Hawks ain't either. But at the end of the day, we still fans and we're still supporters. That has to happen with HBCUs too. So it's a two-way street for sure.
100%. 100%. I knew this was going to be a good conversation, because I knew we were going to talk about the NIL stuff, but there were so many other points to it. And for those that are here, give us a like, give us a comment in the chat. Let us know that you're here. Tell us where you're from, how we know you. If we know you, if we don't, hit the like, follow, and subscribe, man. Glad you're here.
And go support HBCU.
100% in your neighborhood and the one you went to or wanted to go to or wish you went to. Terron Armstead, one of the best HBCU players to make it to the pros in recent history, has announced his retirement after 12 years with the Saints and Dolphins. Armstead was the number 75 pick, third round in the 2013 draft. He went to the Aints. We forgive you for that.
Right.
He burst onto the
scene.
Hey,
bro, ain't got to deal with you no more. Respect.
He burst onto the scene. We all knew about him. If you watch HBCU football, you kind of knew who he was. They profiled him. He was first team's all everything swag. But he ran a 4.7 140 at the combine at 6'4", 306 pounds as an offensive tackle. And I think that was the fastest time ever for an offensive lineman by like 0.3 seconds. Like, or 0.2 seconds. He is a phenomenal athlete. finished his career with Miami, of course, 3 years. 5-time Pro Bowler, All Pro 2018, all SWAC everything. So shout out to Terron Armstead, University of Arkansas Pine Bluff alum.
See, that's the part for me is if you look at HBCUs and then you look at everything that's not like the elite Power 5, HBCU football just produces better athletes. Now you might say these other teams might have better, like the team may be better, but like the one-off athlete, HBCUs are knocking it out of the park. And that's the reason we have more Hall of Famers than a lot of y'all chumps. But that's a different discussion.
You know why I say that.
Different day.
You know I say ain't no way. There's no way that all these HBCUs are here and you from Florida and you decide to go to South Dakota State. No shade to South Dakota State Jackrabbits. It's okay. Cool. But no reason.
Jackrabbits is crazy.
So shout out to Terron Armstead, man. Moving on, Prairie View A&M, the bowling champions. Yeah, that was it. The Prairie View A&M Panthers bowling claims their 7th SWAC title in 2025. March 23rd, they beat Southern University 4-2 in the best of 7 Baker match. They entered as the number 5 seed and pulled off the underdog run under first-year coach Tiffany Clark and earns her first title in her first season debut. Talk about a debut.
Boy.
Shout out to them.
Coaching a 5th seed to a championship? Oh, in my first year? Thank you kindly. Yes, I would like an extension. Pay me. Want my money. I want my money. Right now.
They did make it to the regionals, which is the next step, where they played Belmont Abbey, who I believe was like the number 1 seed. And they did fall to Belmont Abbey, but it does not take anything away from the fact that they won the SWAC championship in a Cinderella run. Shout out to Prairie View. They did it.
Congratulations.
Shout out to Tiffany Clark.
Yeah, and pay her money. I want to make sure we say that enough and more, like Joe said.
Yeah, they will, because you keep winning. Like I said, you keep winning. Somebody's gonna come get you. That money's gonna be somewhere. But y'all know what time it is, ladies and gentlemen. We have come to the end of the HBCU news around the culture. We are going to take a quick break. I believe it's drink time now, right? I'm not mistaken. Just a little bit, a little carbonation, maybe.
All right, yeah, we got it. It's basketball. We can do it.
Yeah, so we'll talk about basketball, Hall of Fame inductees, NCAA, of course, and then we also have the Hawks. And then I want to talk about Ja Morant a little bit. See where you
I'm
at.
Sure his employer want to talk to Ja Morant a bit.
Oh man, we'll be back. Y'all make sure y'all like, follow, subscribe. If I didn't forget anything, Norwood, what else you got?
Nah, that's it. Just like, follow, subscribe. We'll be right back.
Dive into some exciting opportunities with us. The SplashCast is now open for brand partnerships, advertisements, and sponsorships. We want your business to make a splash with our audience. Picture your brand reaching all of our loyal and passionate listeners who love our weekly content. From HBCU news around the culture to our splashes of the week, we cover it all. If you're looking for a dynamic platform to showcase your products or services, look no further. Reach out to us at diveteammedia@gmail.com. That's diveteammedia@gmail.com. Or visit our website at www.thesplashcast.com for more details.
Yeah, my headphones been fighting with me. They have been fighting with me. But what they can't do is they can't beat me and cannot disturb me. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are back. We are back. We are back with drinks over here. Shout out to the Yeti. We are here with hydration. Shout out to that. And we are here to talk basketball. Basketball. Let's start out with the 2025 basketball.
No, before we start out, y'all like, follow, and subscribe.
Fair enough. Y'all heard what the man said. Do it. Do it now. It's my money and I want it now. But here we are. We're going to go right here to basketball 25 class. I'm going to do this as a quick hitter because it's a bunch of them. Carmelo Anthony, Billy Donovan, shout out to the Gators. You already know what it is. Dwight Howard, Sue Bird, Maya Moore, Sylvia Fowles, Mickey Arison, and referee Danny Crawford. Congratulations to excellent careers.
Oh, yeah, me? Yeah. My bad. Fantastic list. Maya Moore, probably the biggest what if in basketball history, in at least women's basketball history. Maybe second to Cheryl Miller. Because you remember she left at the she pulled a Barry Sanders. She left at the height of her powers to go, of course, to fight social injustice.
Had to go get her man, boy. Shout out to her.
Yep.
They don't make them like
Dwight
that no
Howard,
more, baby.
Sylvia Fowles, two-time NBA champion, WNBA champion, all WNBA gold medalist, all of those things. Mickey Arison, of course, put together the Heatles with Pat Riley, along with having those Heat teams of the earlier years. Danny Crawford. I like it. Sue Bird, Billy Donovan, of course. Billy, yeah.
Two-time champion, baby. You know how Billy been holding me down for so long. So one thing that I can talk about, especially that my Gators have been in the tank, is who else got 2 football championships and who got 3 football championships and 2 basketball championships. And
that's why you don't really talk real bad about the Bulls. You always be like, you don't talk too bad.
I like the Bulls. I don't really shape how I like a team on how good or bad they are. I look at a team for their potential and say, this is interesting to me. That's the reason I like you. I looked at the Magic and the Rockets, and I was like, these aren't 2 really good teams, but I can see how these teams with the right coach and right structure could be really good. Now you have 2 really good teams. It's kind of how I feel about the Bulls to a degree, and to like the Jazz. They're teams that if you did the right things with what you have, you could be good. Now it's up to the organization to do that. I'm not hooked into the organization. I just see potential.
Yeah. And of course, Carmelo Anthony and Sue Bird. Let me tell you, if I'm Dwight Howard, I'm inviting Shaq to all of everything. My Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I'm now they're gonna retire my jersey in Orlando. They're already gonna do it anyway, but they're gonna do it for show now. And I could say I'm a Hall of Famer that played for the Lakers and got a championship.
Hold on. Orlando Magic have not retired Shaquille O'Neal's jersey. It seems that Dwight Howard is going to have his jersey retired in Orlando before Shaquille O'Neal. That
now. Ooh.
There are a couple of things, and this is why, and this is, I guess, the perfect time to have a conversation is youth sports organizations have to have some foresight. Your pettiness is going to make you look crazy.
Shout out to the Cavs. They backtracked on the pettiness.
Retiring Dwight Howard's jersey. Number one, I told y'all from day one, Dwight Howard, Hall of Fame. And I'm going to say the same thing for Rudy Gobert now because some of y'all are stupid. Dwight 100% deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I think Dwight Howard deserves to be in top 75 and not AD. It's a different conversation for a different day.
Easily.
But I think I think that, you know, antics, shenanigans aside, Dwight Howard's just a better basketball player. And when we found out that he was only like 6'9", 6'10", really a much better basketball player. So that's embarrassing.
Version of Alonzo. Y'all forget he beat the Cavs. Him. A team that was centered around LeBron and a team that was centered around Dwight Howard. The Dwight Howard team won. And he said they were going to win after the first game.
That's what I don't like about sports, I guess, more now is that it's because there's so much social media. When people
history.
Oh, he wasn't that good. Are you crazy? Dwight Howard was a murderer. One of the best basketball players. And trust me, every center in the NBA knew, boy, he's a problem. He's going to cause problems for me every day. And
we can also play right now. He could play right now.
should play right now. He's better than Jackson Hayes. I don't care what you say. And I like Jackson Hayes. He better. Hell, he better than Dominic Barlow for the Atlanta Hawks for sure. Every day of the week. But the other part about this that I got to bring up a little bit of pettiness is, what are the Nuggets going to do with the number 15?
Joker and Carmelo? Yeah, everybody brought that up. I mean, Melo, we love you, bro. But this is another point I wanted to bring up on this list. I think Melo's the only one with no championship.
Yeah,
No
but this is
professional championship.
This is the thing about that. Why would you give number 15 to a second round pick? That's you being an asshole.
Yeah, they didn't like that he left.
Now you look stupid. You gonna look stupid.
They have to retire his jersey, right? They have to, right?
How? They have to wait for both of them retire and then, hey, y'all both get it at the same time?
So you think they gonna Orlando Magic Melo? They're not gonna do nothing the way they do Shaq?
Not my problem. See, I'm almost 40. I acknowledge when you did something stupid and now you have to figure this out. Pittsburgh Steelers. When y'all keep doing stupid things and then don't ask me. No, you didn't ask me before you did
I
it.
don't know.
Good luck. I'm gonna tell you.
B, C, or D. None of the above.
Right.
None of the above.
That sounds like a problem to me. That sounds like a problem I don't want to figure out. But you're embarrassing your organization is what you're really doing. And I don't think that people are taking that into consideration. You're just doing things out of spite and pettiness, Pat Riley. And then you're going to look up one day and they're going to be like, oh, well, it was him. Look at where Phil Jackson ended his career. They was blaming him. That New York run, it's a whole generation of people who think Phil Jackson is mud.
I mean, that New York run, yeah.
You earned it. But it's the same thing. Poor brand management. You did the wrong thing, and look at what you got you.
Yeah. But shout out to the 2025 Hall of Fame inductees. I like this list. I like
very
this
good list. Respected list across the board. Mm-hmm. And all of y'all can disrespect him other than the people who played against him. He had y'all stressed out, and we saw it. Speaking of people who are going to stress people out here in the future, this is AJ Dybantsa. We're going to get this to play. And maybe it doesn't want to play. It wants to hate. This is AJ Dybantsa jumping over Angel Reese. And for whatever reason, it does not want to play right now, which is perfectly fine because me and Reggie can part right through it. Angel Reese is tall. AJ Dybantsa is a superhuman athlete who is going to be an elite basketball player, and BYU paid the right money.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't realize a lot of times it's hard for me to watch prep basketball because I don't have the time, but two, a lot of their highlights come from like they're the best player. They're the best player by far.
No, that ain't what I'm trying to do. Oh, this thing is. There we go.
So he's the best. When you see people play and they're the best player by far, it's hard for me to gauge how good you are, how much of a freak athlete you are. If you 6'9" and you playing against a league where the tallest person is 6'3", it's like, all right, bro, we see you, bro. When he's jumping over people, and they showed him in a scrimmage, we was playing other top athletes. I was like, oh, he's good for real. Like he's for real.
Yeah, everything that you saw in Cooper Flag, you're going to see AJ Dybantsa. They're just making more of these humans now.
Because y'all saying stupid stuff about Cooper Flag, and I can't wait to get there. We're going to talk about it.
What you think? They're saying they're stupid.
You think he's the greatest one-and-done player of all time?
Oh, nah. That's crap. That's the Krills. They call that the Krills. No, that's that bad dope. That dog food. Nah, Is he one of the best prospects? Good basketball player, but the thing about him is Cooper Flagg is future facing. It's NBA. You're not better than Kevin Durant. You're not better than Melo. No.
You ain't have as good a year as Anthony Davis.
Correct. Yeah, all of that. Now, where you might be able to get into some consideration is he probably the best? He probably not the best Duke player. He's the best Duke one and done player, maybe.
Why?
I think that's a lot.
Why?
I mean,
are you talking about from a production standpoint while playing, or talent?
One and done, because the Duke players that are really good, like Grant Hill, wasn't a one and done. So
Jason was. Kyrie Irving was. He was a 13 game and done.
Yes. So that's the reason I don't count Kyrie. And I think that Cooper Flagg is probably better than Jason Tatum in college. I have to go back and look on the stats for that to be sure.
So that's why I was asking. Are you talking about like stats, or are you talking about talent?
I think he it's difficult because Jason Tatum's like effort, what got him to the next level was the work that he put in. But I think at this point, Cooper Flagg is probably a better talent and a better prospect. Well, yeah, 100%. Because Jason Tatum, what was Jason Tatum drafted in that draft? Wasn't 1.
4.
Yes, and I think that if hold on, let's go to the internet.
Now, in the redraft, I think he was 1.
Let's see here. Jason Tatum draft 2017 by pick. Markelle Fultz, no. Lonzo, no. Then Tatum. Well,
yeah, there you go. He is the number 1 pick out of that draft. I think the draft, because the next year they got AJ Brown.
This draft ain't really that good, to be completely honest.
Don't matter. He's the number 1.
Yes,
that was gonna be your point.
But I mean, I think that if you look at both of them out of college, you probably got to take Cooper Flagg because he's just bigger.
No, he's not. They both 6'9", 6'10".
Jason Tatum size in college was not Cooper Flagg's size in college. I don't think that Jason Tatum weighs what Cooper Flagg weighs now. To be completely honest,
Cooper Flagg is good, but when I saw that, they were like, "He's the greatest." I think Mike Krzyzewski, that's who it was. I think I put on the list Krzyzewski on that dope.
Oh,
he's the one that said that he's the greatest one and done player.
He only 205. Why does he look bigger than that?
Shoulders. He's got broad shoulders.
He looked like 225, right?
He's a box. He's built like a box. Like he got like Dwight Howard.
Well, this is the thing. He's Jason Tatum size right now as an adult. I mean, like 6'8", 209, 6'9", 205. Yeah, Cooper Flagg. The reason I think that Cooper Flagg probably, because he probably gonna get to about 225. At 225, he's hell at 225.
He's Paolo. Is he better than Paolo? Forgot about that. That's Duke. Right,
that's my dog there. I love Paolo.
See, this is why I brought that up. Cause I was like, bro, y'all, Krzyzewski, you coach Paolo, didn't you? That was his last year. He got mad because that's when he made them sit there and stink after the game, and he berated them after they lost. That's why he said that he don't like Paolo. See, we peeling back the onion now. Yeah. Y'all crazy as hell.
I will tell y'all, man. Paolo was that's my guy.
He was held. He's one of the few guys that I can really say was held back at Duke. Like not few, but his game was not built for Duke.
His game is not built for college. That's a lot of the problem is you have guys whose game, he's not a college basketball player. He was on day one an NBA basketball player. And I will go to my grave saying Apollo is what y'all wanted out of Zion.
Yeah. I mean, Paolo's 6'10". Like, Paolo And shout out to the Magic who told y'all, look, we like Chet. But this dude right here is 230 right now. He's 230 right now. It was like, nah, we getting.
I would like to see Paolo do one LeBron James kid in really great shape. Like, you can tell that he works out, but he ain't in the greatest shape.
You can tell he's physically gifted, and he leans on it.
I would like for him to probably lose like 10 pounds and be like elite endurance.
Doing Luka done lost like 20.
No, stupid ass Dallas. Dallas, you stupid. Just dumb as a box of rocks.
They in the double T right now. With Jackson Hayes as the center.
And I told y'all on day one, Jackson Hayes is the person who's he has benefited more than anybody else in the entire world. I'm rich now.
He is the new Tristan Thompson. He gonna get 90 million.
And be done. And then they're like, damn, we paid this dude who a fringe NBA player. Now, I do think that I don't think that he should have been a fringe NBA player. Once again, I go back to, I hate to say it, Don Barlow. It's a lot of guys who just be in the NBA and you be like, bro, how and why? Oh, well, you'll take a minimum. And you'll follow directions and you'll be a good, you'll be
hey man, you're a
but
worker.
even though Barlow had a 20 and 19 game for the Spurs. He's shown it, just don't do it consistently. Next.
Ooh, that was a mean. There we go. We back.
There we go. 2025 national champion Connecticut Huskies. Congratulations to Dino Ariema. Also, congratulations to Paige Buckers. Congratulations to the whole team. They won, and they won convincingly. There's not a question in the world who the best team in women's college basketball is on this very day. They whooped Dawn Staley, Malaysia, Flau'jae, and the University of South Carolina Gamecocks ass. They just did. And I think that Dawn made that very clear. Hey, you win some and lose some. Sometimes you lose to a better team. And in this case, they lost to a better team. She was a gracious loser, and they were fantastic winners. They won convincingly. Wasn't even close.
I watched this game. And leading up to this, we didn't get a chance to pod because the NCAA tournament, you know, the Elite Eight, the Final Four, and then the championship game. Yep, I'm looking at the score too. The Elite Eight, the Final Four, and the championship game are normally all within like 5 to 7 days. So they played all of that after we potted. But I wanted to bring up, and I put it in the group, South Carolina, for the first time, doesn't have a dominant center. They didn't have a dominant front court. They were backcourt heavy. They got Raven. They have Wiley. They have Pow. All of those backcourt. They were shooting that shit during the tournament. But when it came down to UConn has a freshman who's the equivalent of a large power forward, but she plays power forward center. Bro, she was just leaning on South Carolina the whole first half, and they went up by 20. And Don, we love you, but you a meme now. You a GIF. That right there. And I was watching the game, and I knew how you felt because y'all there was nothing you could do with Paige Buchers, and we're happy for her. But I kept saying, I was like, bro, she's a 6'3". She's 6'3". That's the equivalent of being like 6'10". She's like 6'3", 6'4". Well, I'm sorry, 6'2", 6'3", playing the point guard.
But this is also what happens when you send all of your bigs to the WNBA is you have a team that's more. You got to give her credit. This is the most role player of teams that she's really had. You know, even Malaysia. I think she's a damn good basketball player, but right now she's a role player. She's coming off the bench. Mm-hmm. And
spark plug.
When you're doing that versus, I mean, UConn's taking a little break. When you take that break,
9 years,
you're able to kind of keep some of your assets then yeah, we can kind of put something together and put together one really good team. So yeah, it's kind of
they didn't really put together a good team though. Like that team outside of the 2 freshmen, Buchers is year 5. They had another woman who's played and she tore her knee just as many times as Buchers or Beckers. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, I apologize.
I think it's Buckers.
See, that's 3 different pronunciations we just said. But Paige, I just call her Paige. She tore her knee 4 times. They have a lot of seniors and super seniors that were there. And UConn is a sorority. UConn basketball is a sorority. We got to bring you. It's like the U football. We ain't gonna be down this decade long being down. That doesn't sit well with them. There's a picture of them in the tournament, and you have Sue Bird, Rebecca Lobo, Maya Moore. You have all those players sitting behind the bench, coaching them up because that's the culture that Gino has built. You got to give it to Gino, man. He's now won, I think, in every decade.
Oh man, that ring collection is crazy. And back on the hunt. Hey, nobody got more rings than me. Don has,
and WNBA don't leave. They might as well come back.
Right. Don probably has the most consistent program right now, bar none. But the longevity and consistency as far as a career at this point, Gino ain't no joke. Yeah.
Gino done outlasted everybody.
Right.
Keep winning. And don't really change nothing. He don't he likes Saban.
Yeah. Very much so Saban like.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this is the other part is, and we don't see this nearly as much in men's basketball as women's basketball. This 2020 class of Paige Buckers, Angel Reese, Cameron Brink, Caitlin Clark, and Camila Cardoza, all actually being elite basketball players. Buckers is, elite. I think, I expect her to go right into the WNBA and to be a fixture immediately. You look at a lot of the top men's, that dude might be working at Meineke by now.
All of the Houston foot basketball team. None of them are going to. They may win the national championship game.
They're older. I mean,
so just Auburn.
I think that yes, but Houston's team. I mean, they're both older than the Hawks. Which is crazy.
That's where we're going. That's it. That's where we are. This is soccer. Basketball is turning into soccer before our eyes. But yeah, that 2020 class is crazy. We kept saying that's why everybody, if you talk to anybody that follows women's basketball, they kept swearing by Paige Beckers or Buchers. Paige B. They swore by her. I was like, bro, she's been hurt for 3 years. They was like, nah, I'm telling y'all, she gets healthy.
Nah, it's old boy. It's a dude with a tweet who saw her in like 6th grade, 7th grade, and was like, oh, this is the best middle school I've ever seen play basketball ever. They're like, somebody like, hopefully they hired that dude, because if he saw that and he was right, you deserve a job, big dog.
This is the best person I've ever seen play middle school basketball ever.
Right. With that being said, we're gonna take a quick live look. I ain't gonna stay here long. I try not to look. Houston is up on the Gators 44-34 with 14 minutes left. I'm not bothered yet. Just like last time, y'all hopped in the group talking about, hey, man, you concerned about them Gators? We'll get there when we get there. It's a journey. It's plenty of basketball being played. I hate that we down.
You don't even like men's college basketball.
No, but I do like my team. It's saying how I feel about baseball. I don't. The rest of y'all teams can go to hell. My team matters. My team matters the most. And I love my team. And we got plenty of time. This just means we have plenty of opportunity for an upset. Go Gators, go Gators, go Gators. I will also
not an upset. Y'all are the number 1 seed.
Yes, but what I'm saying is if we're down by, well, I meant to say comeback.
Don't nobody, y'all came back last game. Literally.
Right.
I don't believe it. In the last 3 games, y'all have come back.
I'm going to be very honest. Houston is just an adult basketball team, and Kelvin Sampson is a hell of a basketball coach.
Shout out to Kelvin Sampson. Yeah,
he is.
They practices where they diving on the floor, fighting each other, punching each other in the face.
He's shown me a couple things that I have to just say, look, he is an old school basketball coach. He makes everybody make 150 free throws before you leave the gym. Everybody They run a mile at every practice. And if you put that together, great coaching, excellent discipline, and you have players that are older and more mature, you're in a unique situation to win. But they also showed the video 9 years ago where Kelvin Sampson was walking around to U of H like students like, hey, come to the game, come to the game. He built it. He built this from the ground up. So I give him a ton of credit for it. If we do
You know who he reminds me of?
Who?
Nolan Richardson from Arkansas.
Very much.
Very similar philosophy, very similar.
We're going to be tough. We're going to be tough.
We're going to be tough. And very similar life philosophy, talking about the black coaches and getting their fair share and all of those things, especially with the Black Coaches Association.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're right. You hit it on the head. You're right.
He's the only person who I could have. If we do not win, I'm not really mad. I'm upset that my boys didn't get a championship, but I'm okay with him winning.
With that being said, we got to talk about the Duke game, though. We can't just skip over it. That was the most satisfying 5 minutes of basketball that I fell asleep and missed.
This is like Duke is. This is what happens when you kind of change your strategy, which I think I think the Duke did the right thing in changing their strategy and kind of being more one and done based.
Yeah,
but you're going to run into buzzsaws that are adults who are going to be consistent and continue to play basketball, and that's what happened. When 3 of your best players are freshmen in Maluk, Cooper, and Kneppel, and you're playing against guys who are 23, 24 years old.
And Proctor. Is it Proctor?
Yep, Tyrese Proctor.
Guy, the shooter?
Yeah.
The shooter? Yeah. That's 4.
So, yeah.
No, he's junior.
But having that versus having like players who've just been through infinitely more games. Same thing we talk about Anthony Richardson. Reps matter. And game reps matter the most. And if you played a ton of game reps, you're just infinitely more prepared for these type of situations. That center hit them free throws. He said that's where the whole story came from. He's like, man, he started out shooting 60% from the field, 60% from free throw. But every day since June, 150 free throws every day. Well, yeah, if you keep that level of focus and connection, then eventually it's going to net out. Now, where I think that Houston is going to be interesting is I don't know if any of these guys are, what their professional prospects are, if any. Now, this is my other thing about that, though. I don't care. I think that sometimes people kind of get too over-evolved in age. If you're 23 years old and you're a good basketball player and you can play for 10 years, I don't care if I got you at 23 or 21. I think that sometimes,
but that's like Dame Lillard. I don't think any of these guys are Dame, like not even close.
Right. That's my only thing about that is I think that sometimes you want to go so young, but you get these guys super young, they end up not being in your organization. 3 or 4 years later, they're on a whole different team anyway.
And we happy that he did it for the blacks. He won. Let's call a spade a spade. Duke is the evil empire. They are known, even though they changed their philosophy, they get black players and all of that. They are still known as the Christian Lakers. They are the annoying white dudes that a lot of people don't like. In Houston, 5 slammer jammer. They have been black, will be black, and always embrace being black because it is one of the blackest places you can be on earth. So
trust me, I know.
So hey, we're happy that they did that, but Houston, let me tell you something, and I think you're gonna bring this up. Hakeem is the greatest player to come out of the University of Houston basketball, which also includes Clyde Drexler. Hakeem is arguably a top 2 center of all time.
I don't know who this man is, but he deserves to be fired.
Didn't allow him to they literally, you think he bought that ticket? to go to the Final Four to support Houston? No. Here come Florida. They put him there. He is a beast. He is University of Houston basketball. And for you to not let him on the court,
he is Houston Rockets basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Houston Rockets.
He's Houston basketball. Houston
Rockets.
Basketball.
The dream. Literally the person every big goes to and says, hey, man, can you teach me about your footwork? And you don't see, this is my issue, is you have people who, in this case, clearly not from basketball culture. It's no way that if you see the Houston Cougars and Hakeem Olajuwon, oh, Mr. Olajuwon, where would you like to stand? Sit. Would you like me to go get you a chair? And you talk. I wish the video
even
would
if
play.
you don't even know who he is, even if we don't got to play, look at this picture. Y'all know that college courts are elevated. So if I'm security and this man is telling me, hey, I am the guy for Houston basketball, and I'm standing on a platform and I'm an average height male, and this man is standing below me and is looking me in the face, which means he's 7 feet tall, I might need to at least go ask my supervisor, like, hey, this guy right here.
Then if you look in the gray, you can't see it because the video refuses to play, which is annoying. But you see the gray man you see the man in the gray suit right there. He's trying to tell him, bro, that's the dream. You ever heard of Dream Shake before? That's him. And you take your job too seriously and you embarrass yourself. Now you're in a situation where, you know, if I'm Hakeem, you don't get invited anywhere where I'll ever be again.
Nothing. You, sir, are a ticket taker, ticket counter. That's what you are. You will never
unemployed.
Security.
Unemployed.
And you're in Texas. It's not like you play in the Final Four in Indiana. You're playing in San Antonio.
I'm one of the greatest basketball players to ever exist, and you would not let me on the floor for the place where I went to school.
I built Houston basketball. Houston basketball.
And they said that Hakeem is too pacifist. You're right. We have to get back to slapping. We have to, right? Who was that he slapped?
Vernon Maxwell.
Yes, Mad Max. Mad
Max went and slapped the fan. So for Hakeem Olajuwon to slap him, he just said, cool. That had to be. He was like, that Nigerian nightmare lit the shit out of me.
Right. Humbly.
Before we get to Flau'jae, man, last thing on the Houston versus Duke. I really don't like Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock brought up DEI because Cooper Flag or the refs missed a foul call on Cooper Flag and said, you know, I normally would just chalk this up to a bad call that the officials missed. But because of DEI and all the race conversation, I'm thinking, hey, was he a DEI hire? And if he wasn't a black official, would the correct call have been made? Boy, shut the fuck up. If you thought that from the beginning, you can always say it's not race baiting or anything like that. That's just how you feel. That's the one thing I can say about this whole BS going on in the country right now is it's showing me who you are, or it's confirming who I already thought you were. Jason Whitlock, bro, he like worse than Clarence Thomas, or just as bad. I ain't gonna say Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court justice.
We have to ask ourselves, why do we care about his opinion? And I don't have one reason why I would listen to his opinion. And if I don't have a good reason to listen to your opinion, once again, not my problem. In more interesting news, Flau'jae will return to LSU. She will not declare for the WNBA draft. And her and Kim Mulkey will run it back again. I think that she is just in a position of making a ton of money. And no reason to rush it. I think she said that a couple years ago, even when it was like, I'll get there when I get there. It's what I'm doing here, and she's going to be able to cement herself she's going to be the greatest LSU women's basketball player of all time, I think.
I'm not gonna say I'm versed enough in their history to know, but in
I think
recent
it's
history,
I think it's one. I think it's one out there that that I'm missing.
but you're right. This is an easy choice. Easy choice. You make more money in NIL than you do in the in WNBA, and I guarantee you, if she's as close to Angel Reese as everybody says they are, and as we see, our own eyes can see, Angel Reese was like, "Bruh, they paying you over $1 million. That means you make more money than I make right now off base salary." Y'all forget she also has endorsements, and whatever they decided to do, they figured out that whole endorsement thing where somebody was Nike and somebody else is Adidas or whatever it was. They figured that out because she be doing it.
You get what you
And
get. That's all you get. That's it.
And she a whole rapper. And they kind of just letting her be her. LSU like, long as you keep playing basketball, you be you.
Right. Yeah, you could be the other alternative is to piss her off and then she go to WNBA and then you not have nothing. And then you have to stoop down worn out tools like South Carolina. So no, you're right. Squeaky wheel gets the oil.
This was an easy choice. There's no way I would have left. $1 million versus 64,000. Listen, you ain't even got to be good at math. That's a whole nother zero.
And the other part is
two.
What you really got to think about is they're waiting on that lockout. Mm-hmm. It's no point in me rushing when y'all can figure it out. I'll let y'all figure it out, and I not have to miss.
Yeah, I don't need to join the picket line,
right?
At all.
But she's also an asset to them. Like, hey, we still got more. We got more coming. So get right, or there'll be something for sure. Mm-hmm. So I'll probably sit it out too. Hey, this is not the time for me to go out. And that kind of makes you think about some other sports where the potential lockouts is. If you think that the season is going to be a lockout, especially with NIL, before I could understand how you might actually just take get drafted and wait it out. Now it's like, hey, y'all figure out y'all money. I'll get with y'all when the money is straight.
This is part of not having leverage because you don't make enough money.
Right.
But y'all got mad at us when we said that last time. But it's cool. Y'all come around. We always say things 6 months in advance. It don't matter.
Speaking of money, McNeese State manager Amir, in parentheses, I don't know who calls him Aura, Khan is receiving significant interest from NBA franchises to join in some capacity. 5 teams, I think, have spoken to him at the combine, which is interesting. I love this flip here. Sometimes you just got to be at the right place at the right time and doing the right thing, and people are going to be interested and get phone calls.
And shout out to McNeese State for vouching for him. He does apparently he's really loved in that locker room, and we already talked. What he had 11 last week. We talked to him, which I'm sure there's more. And for him to flip this, and shout out to the NBA. Hey, they recognizing it. Join the wave. Right. This is a win for all parties involved. For me, you get the culture from Amir. You get McNeese State gets a whole lot of notoriety, probably more notoriety through him than the actual basketball team.
Don't even know. Nobody knows what McNeese State is. Let's be very real here.
And then he gets to go to the NBA, and he's going to parlay this into a job.
Absolutely.
I don't see a loss.
After he's already parlayed these 11 other NIL deals, at minimum, you're a kid who's starting out with a massive head start in life. And you didn't even have to be good at sports.
Nope. Not at all. Not at all, man. Shout out to Aura, as they call him. Allegedly. They allegedly call him.
Your daddy called you Amir. I'm going to call you Amir.
Hey, I put this on there because I want to ask about you. Ja Morant called Khalil Ware a pigeon after he scored on the game winner. Here you go, right here. If it plays.
And I think it's going to hate. But with that being said, I don't know. Calling somebody a pigeon is uber disrespectful. Like, where did you get pigeon from?
Why did KL Ware? Why has he called other people pigeons before?
Not that I've heard ever.
Why? What did he do for you to? I get maybe there was some smack talk in the middle of the game that we don't know about. Florida. Maybe there was some smack talk in the game we don't know about, but like it seems like Ja is taking on the whole. I don't care about none of y'all. I'm saying whatever I want to say. Y'all gonna find me anyway because of his finger shooting celebration, which is a terrible thought because of everything that you've been through. But from what I've read, his persona is like everybody else do it, so they just outlawed it totally because they don't want him to do it.
And this is what he's speaking of specifically. So this to me is a situation, and the reason I say it's a situation is in many other cases I could be okay with what Ja is saying. It's basketball. What do we do with the ball? We shoot it. All right, shoot it. Like it's a part of the vernacular, even the kind of gun thing. But bro, you actually had a real gun. you cannot do what everybody else is doing. And I'm starting to get to the point where I feel like Ja's kind of like the privileged AAU kid. And he's so used to getting his way and getting preferential treatment that he's very unaware to you're not doing what everybody else is doing. You look crazy.
Thing is, that's not his upbringing, though. He never was the privileged, overhyped basketball player. He went to McNeese State. They weren't gonna give him a scholarship. He didn't have any scholarship offers. He was playing on the C gym while Zion and all them were playing over. This is just like, hey,
Murray State. What I said,
McNeese. He went to Murray State. Like, bruh, like.
But he also was you're an AAU kid. Your dad was a professional athlete. Whatever it is, he seems to be very unaware, and he seems to be committed to being unaware, which to me
keeping
is
it real goes wrong. That's what it is.
Yes.
I mean, you trying to be this guy. And I don't even if that's your persona from back in the day, you up. All you got to do is just play basketball. They paying you millions and millions of dollars. They trying to make you the face of Nike. Like that's the part that I guess I'm looking at it from my side. I don't have millions of dollars. I'm not the generational athlete from South Carolina and all of those things. But bro, they trying to make you the face of Nike. You were the face of Nike.
And you're trying to do your best. And now this may be the old man conversation, but Anthony Edwards and Ja Morant are doing their absolute best to not be the face of the biggest sports brand in the world. And I don't know if I'm just old, so I don't get it. But to me, it surely does not make a ton of sense.
Because it's set up. You had Jason Tatum, whatever you think about Tatum, he's with Jordan Brand. Anthony Edwards is with Adidas. You have Shai, who has gone on to Converse. Ja Morant was supposed to be Nike. That was your four. That was going to be the next generation of shoes. And are non-AAU shoes, because they got AAU shoes and then they got everybody else shoes.
And when you talk about those four, and I'm gonna throw Luka in there just for an additional person,
his shoes like AAU shoes though.
But his shoe is actually the shoe that a lot of NBA players wear his shoe, and that Zion shoe. But the thing is, if you look at Ja Morant, Anthony Edwards, those are the two most interesting guys in the NBA. But
easily, personality wise and everything,
you have all of that, but you're just your own. And Anthony Edwards to a lesser degree. Now, the Anthony Edwards baby Baba situation, somebody got to tap him on the shoulder and say, "Bro, you wildin'." But that don't get you in that much trouble.
Okay, I'll leave that alone.
Ja, like, come on, you're right. Mikal Bridges does the finger guns. Everybody else, what's your parents? That ain't you. The sooner you realize that the rules are different for you, the better off you will be. And I think this goes back to another thing about, him and his dad having that very friendshipy relationship. Dog, eventually you have to tell your son, hey man, cut the shit. And I don't see anybody telling him, having the tough conversation with him.
His friends go around pointing guns with lasers at team buses to prove that they down.
Exactly. And I get that. I'm not going to sit up here and say that I haven't done my own fair share of stupid things when I was a teenager. But you also get to a point where you have to say, hey, I'm the money. And one thing that we come from a culture is, once the person has identified with the money, we don't let him do anything that could get the money messed up. So if that means, hey, you got to have the tough conversation, you got to have the sit down and intervention, bruh. Because if you mess up the money, then I guess he comes from a little bit different of a situation. He comes from a couple dollars, so it's not like I've ever been poor. So I don't think that he has the concept of, oh, this could all be gone.
So you talking about he's spoiled?
Yeah, very much so. I think that everything that yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things about your dad being a professional athlete. He wasn't ever required to be like, and not to say me or you were either, but I feel like Pops Davidson, old Lester be like, hey son, that's done. And don't make me tell you again. You know what? All right, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah, he don't have no man. I would love to see where they're gonna trade him now. Ja, I think that coach was there before he got there or during, where they came in at the same time.
Taylor Jennings. No, remember they had a bunch of different coaches. They had what's old boy? I want to call him Biggerstaff, but it's Fizdale. They've had a couple coaches, and it not work. He's on his. Him and Trey are eerily similar.
I was about to ask, but he doesn't get. I guess because they didn't fire a coach for him until now that's perceived as for him. Why doesn't he get the coach killer? I guess he get the real killer. But like, why don't they?
That's the reason they're similar and different. Is it does like Ja seems to not be in the decision making portion. I mean, I don't think too many people have been listen to many decisions from you. You already in trouble. Trey, his good behavior outside of that does seem to lend him to the organization very much so catering and placating to him. What the Grizzlies did for Ja instead of placating to him was they blamed Dylan Brooks. But I don't have to listen to you as far as like trading players or bringing players in. Nah, we're gonna help you clean up this image. And Dylan Brooks, funny story, got to a new team, and that team is mighty good.
Yeah, but he's the movable piece on that team, though.
But that team is also, and I think it's a combination. I think it's once again the same combination. He finds his role in a place where my role is to be like Draymond. And Udoka is like, oh, yeah, go on out there and do what you want to. The Rockets are I think they have the most technical fouls. They've had the most ejections. And you see Udoka Udoka is a coach that talks to a lot of NBA players, and he'd be talking
cash trash to Steph. They're gonna play in the first round too, or second round.
Now,
y'all might win, but Steph gonna average 60.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, man. I don't know what has made y'all decide that y'all can talk to Steph.
To Wardell that way.
That's what I was going to call it too. Because Isaiah Stewart, bro, you better see. People think just because you big, you can just do anything. Hey, Steph take you outside, cut your ass. I'm talking about, and he's gonna do that anyway. But when you irritate him, the babyface assassin, he petty. Don't let anybody fool you because all that smiling and Under Armour. He likes when y'all do that because then, yeah, I can really destroy you how I really want to. And Steve Kerr finna be like, And what Draymond gonna do? Do it again.
And
do it again.
There's Hoodie Melo. There's well, I guess sunglasses LeBron, angry LeBron, whatever you want to call it.
Untuck Kyrie.
Untuck Kyrie. Steph, when he nodding like this, when you walk off the court when he lose, he be like, all right. Next time they play the Rockets, if they play in the second round, first game, he gonna have 50. He gonna have 50.
I don't know why people want to stress their teammates out like that. I don't want to guard like Steph is a murderer just because of his talent. But when he's gonna take that motivation, he not gonna do no whole lot of back and forth. Just give me the ball and get out of the way.
It's awful.
But
awful.
That's basketball in a nutshell. We're gonna step away
Florida won. Florida won. They won. They came back from 12 down. 65-63.
Woo, boy, I would tell y'all, I've been over here suffering in silence. I've been trying to do my best to just hold it in the road, man. I want to thank my Florida Gators. I needed a W, man.
For years that he hates men's college basketball.
I do. I love my team, though. And I ain't got no W's right now. Braves 1-8, Falcons. We don't know what the hell they doing. The football team, the Gators, we still got Billy Napier. The Hawks, we don't have a future. This is it for me. It does feel good to be a national champion. I want to give a lot of respect to Kelvin Sampson, the University of Houston. They played
they choked it away, man. They choked it away. They're up 12. They were up 12. They pulled a Duke. They were up 12 with 5 minutes left. And I said, you know what? Every game, that dude Clayton, and he was having a horrible game. 3. I said, where did that come from? And y'all joking. Y'all playing around, and y'all called me crazy when I said on Threads, I was like, yo, that's the Golden State replacement right there. Him. He go to Golden State and learn how to play off the ball and run around like Steph.
Oh,
he's 6'3", 6'4", and he shoot
could
crazy.
Be Jordan Poole Jr.
And he could be Steph, not Steph, but he could play the same style as Steph. And his name is, you got Wardell and Walter. Don't nobody name their children that name no more.
Right.
So he gonna go
Walter Clayton Jr. now. But yeah, it feels good to be a champion. Boy, it was touch and go, boy.
And ironically, you talked about Houston's free throws, and that's how they lost the game. They missed free throws.
Hey, man, I hate it had to be you, but it does feel
Kelvin,
good.
You almost pulled it off, Kelvin. That everybody would have lost that I needed to lose. Duke, Auburn, and Florida.
Gators did it, baby. Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh, man. All right, we're going to be right back.
Refill.
Yeah. Oh, man. Foolishness is afoot. I'll be right back.
Our own Facebook page for an immersive experience like never before. Get in on the action with lively discussions, fiery debates, and a community that's as passionate as you are. Our social media platforms are buzzing with the latest podcast news, exclusive updates, and behind-the-scenes sneak peeks. Don't miss out on the chance to connect with fellow SplashCast enthusiasts. Dive into the conversation, share your thoughts, and be part of something bigger. Find us on Instagram and Facebook, or go to www.splashcast.com to join now.
How you doing,
and bro? We're good. And it changed. Put up a Florida jersey in football.
Hey,
and
man.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen, with our football segment of episode 185 of the SplashCast Monday Night Raw. We got a few things we'll talk about today, but as you can see, I'm gonna let Norwood get 30 seconds of gloating.
I'm gonna be very brief. I just feel blessed to have a team that finally won something. I've been down and out so long that maybe this is the little bit of joy that I get, and I'm gonna be thankful for you. I'm gonna thank the Lord. Shout out to my squad for putting together a hell of a season. I believed in you when nobody else did. Job well done.
I hope that you sacrificed Florida's football season for
Probably,
this basketball trophy.
I'm gonna be very honest. I've been thinking about it all week. I'm like, you know what? Maybe that's why the brain sucked. Like, you know what? I've been trying to keep this very low key and under wraps. I have been thinking about this a lot. Like,
because I mean, Florida got all the juju these last 3 games. Down 10, down 12,
right.
down 9.
And that's the reason
like, bro, they
I
just
been
keep coming back.
After I got some homeboys who are Duke fans. They was talking big trash for the game. Even after the game, I was humble. Hey, great game. Best of luck to y'all next season. You see,
you going out
tonight?
You want to celebrate?
I gotta go to work tomorrow, brother.
You celebrate tomorrow?
Nah.
Get your little Uber. You can get your little Uber. Get your little. Don't get the one T.O. got. Got a shot.
I'm just
for y'all that don't know. Y'all go look at the video, bro. T.O. got stuck in.
We'll post tomorrow in the morning. I'll post tomorrow in the morning.
T.O. got stuck in a Uber that it's not funny because it could have died, but it was taking on water. They were in a space that was flooding, and T.O. reacted in T.O. fashion. He said, boy, I got to swim up out of here. I mean, he was back in Alabama.
He from Mississippi?
Or miss one of them. Okay. No shade, but shade.
I mean, you're right. I was talking to somebody who was from Oklahoma today. I was like, tomato.
Oh, I can't say that. I was about to say there's
Xander City, Alabama. You are correct. I was wrong.
Yeah. Alabama got all them towns you ain't never heard of. Foley. they'd be amazing. Julio from Foley. Where's Foley? Where's Sander City?
You don't know what you all gonna make me say, man. This is a nationwide broadcast with hundreds and thousands of listeners. What do you think we finished? You just well, I guess we can go ahead and talk about it now. If you're gonna do what they should have done, they should have got Joe Milton instead of the Cowboys.
Maybe you trade for that, but you don't want that contract though. Joe Milton to the Cowboys. I was thoroughly. It was first of all, it's perplexing. It's not, but it is. Second of all, I was surprised.
It is 100%.
All these other all these other QB needy teams didn't have more to trade, didn't have more for Joe Milton than
Steelers.
There you go. Oh. Is that better?
I'm glad you did it because I couldn't.
Yeah, I did it. Didn't offer more for Joe Milton. Didn't at least kick the tires. The Steelers don't have nobody.
Nobody, baby. and the thing about it for me is this is the Cowboys made a great deal as the only team that didn't need this. I can't understand it to save my life.
Why they did
it? I mean, I know why Jerry did it, but I can't believe that Jerry did it. If you're going to do that, you're pissing off Dak.
I don't think they care. I think you said they had to choose between Dak, CD, and Micah. There's enough money for 2 people. That's what you said. You've been saying that for 2 years.
So then you got to move. Okay, so what I'm saying is this doesn't make sense for your team. That means you need to trade Dak. I mean, yesterday. And I mean, I think
I like the draft. This is where the draft is where the trades are going.
You got to be moved because this is the thing. Joe Milton. I mean, what did they? It was a 5th round pick for him. Mm-hmm. So the cost
they got him in a 7th, and they traded a 5th.
So the cost wasn't bad, but it's going to cause your quarterback to not be happy. That's the issue is it causes turmoil in your team, not because I mean it's on standalone, it's a good deal. I would have took the deal, but we wouldn't do that because it's going to make Michael Penix feel like, oh, I got somebody. If this don't work out, this is your insurance policy.
We did that. We just did it through the draft, not free agency.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is we did that with the old quarterback. Like Dak still got plenty of years left.
Dak's age, Dak's legs and injury history is older than his body. I mean, older than his physical age. That and I honestly think this is kind of like Ja Morant and Taylor. What's his name? I don't think CD likes that. We've seen too many instances of CD call basically like, "Yo, what are you doing?" Like he did that all last year.
My thing about that is, CD, you're not going to play with a guy better than Dak. Best thing you could do is figure out a way to make it work versus try to figure out a way for it not to work.
You don't think so? I mean, he's still young.
No, it's not. Where? Jerry's not going to trade you somewhere so you can go flourish.
You think he's tied to Dak like Devontae was Aaron Rodgers?
No, not in the same way. Devontae and Aaron Rodgers have a thing where they like locked in. I feel like Dak and CD are like, hey, this is the best receiver I'm probably going to play with. This is the best quarterback I'm going to play with. The best thing that we can do is figure out how to make it work well.
Yeah. It's. First off, I like to not bury the. I like the trade that I think Joe Milton, in terms of Joe Milton and his talent, I don't like the trade to Dallas. I would like to see him go to anywhere
else.
Oakland. Go to Oakland. I'm sorry. Las Vegas. Go to Las Vegas. You could go to Las Vegas. You could go to Cleveland. You could go to
Well,
they just paid him. I was to Jacksonville.
You go to,
but they just paid him.
Go to the Saints. There are a ton of places.
Saints, Indianapolis, Indianapolis.
There are plenty of places that
Cleveland.
Yes, all of the now. That's the only thing that I gotta look. I gotta look at the contract on that. Maybe they just you gonna put Justin Fields ain't gonna like that.
Oh, that's right. They signed Justin Fields. Never mind. They signed Justin Fields.
At the end of the day, I forgot. A lot of times people forget. You got to be careful with the way that you deal with these people's egos. Same thing I said about Garrett when they brought on Devontae. He's not gonna like that. This guy has a better rapport with the quarterback than I do. This is homeboy. Y'all kind of pushing me to a wide receiver 2 position. And number one, I'm just younger than everybody else. I'm gonna be somewhere. And if y'all don't figure that out, I'll be somewhere else.
Now that we talking through it, I would have loved to see Miami make a splash and go after Joe Milton, because that is the perfect offense to throw the ball really far down the field, because they have 2 players, possibly 3, that is very difficult to outthrow. And if I just put the ball in the air, Tyreek Hill can go, Jalen Waddle can go. I think they still got Mostert, but Devon A-Chain. They have 5 players that all run 4.3 or faster. And when you have players like that, the best thing you can do is be able to throw screens, run the spread offense, similar to what he did at Tennessee, and throw the ball really far down.
They're not trying to spook Tua. I don't think that's necessarily I don't know if that's the right answer, but it is surely
he's been unconscious every year. Every year he's been unconscious.
Right. I think that I think that Tua playing is bad and has been bad and ain't gonna be good no time soon. But I think we're at the point now where we can't say anything about it.
I'd rather sit behind Tua than sit behind Dak if I had to be a second string quarterback.
Oh yeah, because
Tua gonna get hurt. He gonna get hurt.
Maybe you cut this out later, but I'm gonna have a chance. It gonna happen. I don't know when. It's gonna happen. And I'll be like, right. But see, that's the thing. If you're Dallas and you do have an asset, somebody gonna need him.
Now we told y'all that I brought it up to Tremaine, and y'all said it's fake. But that move by Joe Milton reignites the Dak to Cleveland talk. That reignites it.
No. Let's not speak that into existence. We speaking Kirk to Cleveland. Big Kirk to Cleveland. Yeah, my boy.
Dak to Pittsburgh.
No.
That's a good Mike Tomlin reclamation project right there.
Jerry won't do that. I don't think that Jerry would make a deal with the Steelers.
Why? He don't got a plan?
No, but the Steelers and the Cowboys have had a don't do that. Certain things that I would not do.
Yeah, you're tripping.
In certain places, especially like if you trade Dak to the Steelers,
give me George Pickens.
What that does is it's like, hear me out. What I'm gonna say next probably gonna sound crazy. It's like looking to the Lakers. You kind of give him an opportunity to be in a place that, if you really look at it top to bottom, runs a tight ship. Steelers are a playoff team every year. They're going to have a good defense. And if you provide them with their next quarterback, anytime they have a stable quarterback situation, they're looking at a Super Bowl. And if you do that, they'll be on your ass. Because then you could have
Dak ain't Luka.
No, but he is.
And they ain't got no LeBron on that team.
Well, I think that Darnell Washington's a better player. Their running back situation is stable. You're right. I probably move on from Pickens. But hold on. They got DK. They got DK, don't they?
Yeah. That's why I said you could trade Pickens. You got to trade Pickens for the.
You could. I mean, once again, then you start wheeling and dealing. You might be calling us, hey man, I like to have Kyle Pitts. And if you can, you could make it
Washington.
You could make it. But what I'm saying is, you could make an offense with Dak, and Dak is not a bad quarterback.
He's a quarterback. He's better than average. He's above average.
He's about
top 10.
Is he like? And I'm asking because sometimes I get unreasonable. Like how I look at Matt Ryan. Not he's not as good as Matt Ryan, but he's probably like typically somewhere between 7 to 5.
The year he got his contract, he was like a top 3 quarterback in the league. I think he had 42 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. He that year was crazy. But overall, I wouldn't put him as Matt Ryan.
Well, when I say
because he's got
right.
He's got Matt Ryan had Julio, and he ain't never had no real running game other than he had Zeke for a year or two, and then Zeke got fat.
Right. Like when I say like Dak and Matt Ryan, it's because you're not a top 5 quarterback for sure. You're not a top 4 quarterback. You're not Mahomes. You're not Burrows. You're not Lamar. Now, is Jalen Hurts 4? I still don't think he's 4. But you're somewhere in the 5 to 7 range as far as like quarterbacks. So for me, there's still everybody can't be that, and everybody can't get that. He's probably the best reasonably available quarterback you can get. Can you get a quarterback better than Dak Prescott right now?
At $60 million?
No. I'm saying, do you have access to a quarterback better than Dak Prescott?
No. All the quarterbacks have been snatched up. No. I mean, you think he's better than Aaron Rodgers?
He's better for your life than Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers probably better quarterback.
As a quarterback, is he better than Aaron Rodgers?
Yes, because of his age. And because he's not a team killer. Aaron Rodgers either has to win or everybody's getting fired.
Dak just seems like a placeholder to me. And I've been trying not to say that because he's good. But he don't make a big difference. When you need a play, He ain't about to get you to the next level. Dak ain't about to get you to the next level.
I disagree there. Like, we're just so used to Dak being good that we just think that he's not. Nah, go ahead. Put Brock Purdy on that team and see what you got for a season. Put some of them sorry and Dallas is like the Lakers. You ain't finna have a whole bunch of bad days. You put Jimmy Garoppolo on that team and see what you got. Fired. Everybody fired. You can't put them bad guys. Like, Dallas can't have bad guys.
Yeah, I mean, Dak is his accuracy is really good. When it's good, it's just that's what it is with Dak. Ain't no middle ground. He's either really good or he'd be like, man, what the hell? He'll never have no like, okay, I only had 40% completion rate, but I finished. No,
you gotta look at
either
the other
42-5 or 24-24.
Put Will Levis on the Cowboys. What you got? A train wreck.
You naming all the boo-boo teams. You put Will Levis on any team.
I'm trying to think of somebody who's kind of closer to the middle. I mean, I'll tell you something that would be interesting. I don't know if it would be
CJ Stroud or Dak Prescott.
CJ.
Why?
CJ. But
CJ's better than Dak, is what you're saying.
I'm asset-wise, I'm looking at CJ more than Dak because of age-wise. I think that Dak, even if Dak is better right now, CJ is going to be better by the time he's Dak. Like that, yes. CJ just forward-facing is a better asset. But I will tell you some place where you get interesting is like Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray to Dallas is kind of something. I don't know what it is, but it's something. But it could also be
placeholder. Placeholder. What's that sound like to you? A placeholder. Ain't no difference.
But Kyler in Dallas would be entertaining. It would be more entertaining.
And Dak in Arizona would be Kyler in Arizona. He would be good. It would show flashes, but they're just not going to win.
I actually disagree. I think that Dak in Arizona would make would raise the tides of Arizona. Like, would they probably be a Super Bowl contender? No, but they would be a problem.
They would be a problem with that. What's a problem? Wild card?
Yes, a stressful wild card. And Kyler in Dallas. And
what
Kyler,
are they?
Were they in the playoffs last year?
Stressful. They were in the playoff hunt. They missed it by like a game. Or maybe that was the year before.
Okay, so that's the difference between being a headache to you or being at home. I think that Dak makes them a playoff team for sure. And I think that Kyler could make Dallas a fun team to like, exciting. And the good would be good, but the bad will be bad.
I just said that about Dak.
I think, okay, so what I think is Dak gets you closer to the median. He gets you closer to the middle.
So mid.
Yes. but they're also like mid is tricky because you want to say like mid and like we think about mid for what it is.
A lot of teams. It's just funny that you said it that way.
A lot of teams need to get back to mid. Some of y'all are on the struggle bus. Mid will be a good place for a lot of y'all to be.
It's not a lot. You would
Jaguars need to be mid soon.
Indianapolis
need to be mid soon. The Giants need to be mid soon.
Oakland,
the Saints
Pittsburgh,
need to be mid.
Well, Pittsburgh
soon.
is mid.
Yeah, definitely the middiest of mids. But as much as there's
what 6 teams need a quarterback? I think 6 teams need a quarterback right now. Cleveland, Tennessee, New York, or you take one New York away because they're going with Justin Fields, and I don't count the Giants even though they signed Russell Wilson.
No, Giants still need to. Let's see here.
Oh, Seattle. Who did Seattle sign? They traded Geno.
Your boy, Scam Darnold. Oh, yeah. Miami is kind of infinitely in need of a quarterback. The Jets have not. I think the better, instead of saying who needs a quarterback, who's figured out their quarterback situation. Then it's different. The Dolphins have not figured out their quarterback situation. The Jets have not figured out their quarterback situation. The Patriots have not figured out their quarterback situation.
Yes,
the Steelers.
That's why they traded Joe Milton. They are leaning in on Drake May.
That is fine. You might be pushing your chips in. You can't say that they have a quarterback. If you can't, relax, T.I. If you can't say that this is our guy for sure, then you ain't figured it out.
Well, that's
the Steelers have it. The Browns have it. The
you
Colts
can say that about
have it.
Penix, the Falcons.
Yes, but the reason I'm going to say differently, I mean, yes, you're right. The only thing is, this is his first year. So in the first year, you're kind of stuck. Now, future facing, at the end of this year, we're going to have to look at things and reassess. But at this very moment,
why can you say that about Penix and not Drake May?
Drake May played this season.
Yeah.
Michael Penix did not.
Yeah, he did.
He played like 3 games at the end of the season, bro.
Drake May didn't even start the season as a starter.
Cool. You're technically right, but your sample size of Drake May and Michael Penix are not the same.
They're very similar.
I disagree, but cool. And I think that Michael Penix is better than Drake May. I think that you should definitely, you've seen enough of Drake May to know that he's not. I don't think he's what you want.
Why? Who are their receivers? Who's their running back? Who's their offensive line? Name somebody on that team other than Drake May on offense.
You cheater. You knew I was going to go defense.
Yeah, Christian Gonzalez. I know that. That's easy. On offense, name anybody other than Drake.
I mean, you're right, but I've just watched him play. I'm not in love with Drake May. But this is the thing. I've also never been in love with Drake May. I never thought that Drake May was going to be a guy who I thought was actually good. So you're right. I mean, technically, let him play a year. You ain't wrong for saying that. But I've been watching Drake May play a year for long enough to know that I'm not going to be sold on this. And get him all the help that he needs and deserves. I still don't feel like I don't feel the same way about Drake May I feel about Michael Penix. I've seen Michael Penix play elite football. I've never seen Drake May play elite football.
In the pros or in he played pretty good football.
Him and Daniel Jones are two of they are scams. They're scams to me. Never were good.
Michael Penix had what, 1 good year? 2?
Hell no. Michael Penix had good. No, he was good in Indiana.
He tore his knee every year. He tore his knee for 4 years.
He was good in Indiana first, and he was good at Washington. He's been good at 2 different places.
You can't say he was then Drake May was good at North Carolina if he was good at Indiana. They had similar stats.
And that's the reason my eye test I feel confident in. And my eye test is going to tell me.
It's hard for me to say eye test because Drake May, especially in the pros, because Drake May ain't got nobody. They ain't got nobody. That is the best tanking job, undercover tanking job I've ever seen in my life. They didn't talk about the Patriots tanking at all, and they are awful. I don't even who do they have? They talking about trying to exhilarate the fan base. Let me tell you.
Wait, okay. So number one, Michael Penix Jr. had 2 back-to-back 4,000-yard seasons
with Washington, right?
Right, 22 and 23. Now, Drake May, you finna have a whole lot of nothing. You had a 4,000 season in 22 and then a 3,600 season in 23. No. You basically lost 1,000 yards.
Huh?
You lost 1,000. Like Michael Penix, back-to-back 4,500 seasons.
Very similar argument to the pro. Who else Yeah, Washington.
No.
He had Roma Dunzier, right?
Oh no, yeah. Fair. I mean, you're right. He had some guys.
He had there's another one that went pro, or is he going pro this year?
He did.
He had they had the best offensive line in the nation that year too. Drake May had the best nothing at North Carolina. They got beat by JMU.
Fair, but I'm saying no for me. But
fair.
With that,
I mean, I'm not really trying to change your opinion. It's just my
eye test looks at Michael Penix and looks at Drake May and says,
that's a standardized test for me. You grading somebody on the same scale that doesn't have the same resources.
No, at the end of the day, it's just my eye. My eye tells me that floor for Michael Penix is just a decent NFL quarterback. Decent. Drake May, I don't trust you, period. You're going to have to prove to me that you can be decent. And maybe that I'm okay with saying, hey, maybe I'm biased, maybe I'm wrong. But when I look at Drake May, nothing says yes. Everything says no.
Lastly, Texas being sued by season ticket owners. Didn't expect that to come out of Houston, especially after they've been winning the last couple of years.
Right.
Oh well, I guess I should, since I can do it. Nope. Obviously I cannot. There we go. Texas sued claiming fraud, conspiracy, and breach of contract, where people are saying they didn't even receive their tickets. And amongst other things. They've kind of swept this under the rug quietly. They reported this and we ain't hear nothing back.
We just talked about, and I know it's a completely different sport, but we just talked about the Golden State or San Francisco Valkyries selling 10,000 WNBA tickets. What I don't think people understand is your ticket holders is your solid fan base. Those are your true fans. They spend money in advance to make that's that's where you find your money is. Oh, they paid in advance. This is how I do everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Your most devout fan base suing the team. As a person who's worked in ticket sales, this is a problem. Massive problem. And we got to be real here. As much as the Texans have kind of gotten it together and changed things, they're still who we knew them to be. This kind of bad racist organization. And you kind of in this situation where you've been fortunate enough to kind of move away from Watson and kind of move away from all the racist, terrible things you said in the past. But your true identity rears its ugly head. People know you still got to do this every day. And I don't know the answer to that. And I feel bad for the team because the team's like, bro, that's not really our problem. We come out here and play football every day. But this is the reason I say that organizations, like the team organization, how it's run matters way more than anything else. You can kind of get lucky. They kind of hit with a coach and a quarterback and some other things. But this is just who you are. This is who you are.
Seems like they can't get right. And eventually what happens with teams like this is that your stars end up leaving. You guys are still guys. People still want peace. At the end of the day, I'm going to still want peace. I don't want to be in a controversy every single year. Unless you're going to pay me a new record money every single year, then maybe I can. But
so you may end up in a situation, and I'll give you an example of what I think this is kind of getting close to, but not as bad, like the Clippers, where they had Doc Rivers, you had Blake, and you had Chris Paul. So you have like this core nucleus of players and a coach that everybody likes. But then you have Donald. Yep. You got Donald Sterling, who's the owner, and you're like, I don't really want to deal with him. But what we got as a team is really good. And you look at Will Anderson and Tank Dell and CJ everything they have, and you're like, I don't want to leave this either because we've done a lot to kind of get this team right.
Where did Debo go?
Commanders.
That's right. Yeah. They just signed somebody though, because they got to replace Tank, because Tank Dell's out next year. They already said They said that week, hey, he ain't coming back till 2026.
But everything else is Houston is tricky because they're the perfect example of we got everything else. You just signed Stingley to that big deal. Will Anderson is good as advertised. You got a quarterback, you got a coach, but
they need one more wide receiver.
Which you can get, you're going to be able to get. Realistically, that guy's going to be available because there are that many receivers available. And you, once again, you're in the right city. Houston's very conducive. You're in Texas. You don't pay the state income tax. You got a quarterback and you got a defense. At every level, you got a really good defender.
Yeah. But you better get it right though, because you made that point.
Y'all and you remember they just traded Laramie Tunsil. So next year's draft, they're gonna have a 2/3, 2/4, 2/5, 2/6, whatever it is. They're gonna have 2 drafts next year. Now you gave up Tunsil, who's good for sure, but
I'm Falcons. I'd see if Kelvin Banks was dropping, and then I would trade down to Houston. Like, God, I hope we don't draft Kelvin Banks.
What's your issue with him?
We need defense. We need. Why would you send the whole defensive staff to the draft, to the combine, and then draft an offense player? Why would you send 12 people to UGA?
Now that you say that, I'm gonna say the one thing about that is you look stupid. That's the biggest thing, and you have to understand we're not allowed to look stupid. You're gonna look stupid if you really only talk to only defensive players, and then the first thing you draft is an offensive player. You're good. That you better win. You better win. That's the only thing I can tell you is you better win.
Yep.
But it's not that you're even wrong. It's just you better win.
Yeah, that there is nothing else. There's no right or wrong. This is pass fail. Either you win or you fire. This is it. You burnt all bridges and all of that. That's out the door.
You have to win the NFC South or go home.
Yes. But ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of episode 185 of SplashCast Monday Night Raw. We did mic check. We did HBCU news around the culture. We did hoops. We did football. Nor did we didn't miss anything. Take us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, I am a champion. I want y'all to see that. Oh, man. Florida Gators. We are basketball champions. It feels good. I hate to have had to sacrifice what potentially could have been my Atlanta Braves. Atlanta Falcons, y'all be safe. Atlanta Hawks, y'all be safe. Florida Gators football team, boy. Oh, the pressure is on Billy Napier so much now. Oh, my goodness. If you don't win now, it's it for you. This is a win in school, and they just made all that money.
Like hopeful. Sounds like you hopeful. They about to read it. They won't fire him now. Whenever y'all stadium is done, they'll fire him. Because y'all about to play in a new stadium for a year. They're not gonna bring in a new coach to play in the interim. They're gonna bring in a new coach. They're gonna have a new whole everything. So you got one more year. That was your sacrifice. But it's cool. You got a championship.
Right. Getting a championship is all, but see, you're okay with that because that means that you can stomp me on football happily and peacefully. Yeah, and you don't even care about basketball.
Nope.
Georgia basketball.
We individuals. Ant Edwards, Dominique, Jonas Jennings, the dude we about to send now. We send individuals. You might as well be playing golf.
Yeah, you're right. It's the bar is beyond hell. So for Georgia basketball, it's like, don't care. But number one, and please go back and listen to Mike Check when we talk about this. More black baseball and respect the legends. Pittsburgh, you fucking clowns. Number two. More black cowboys and cowgirls. I'm gonna tell y'all this again. Put these fans back. I'm so tired of seeing y'all and these fans. Now I have seen
a Carolina thing anyway. I don't understand. Now it's taking the world by storm.
Oh man, that. Now I will say I am happy to see, and I've seen specifically Xavier Legette, but a lot of other people in these trail rides. They've been beautiful. They've been fantastic. Just a bunch of black people getting together, enjoying themselves. Congratulations, more black cowboys, cowgirls. That's actually really uplifting. Then number 3, the historically black college and university you went to, your cousin went to, your auntie, your uncle, anybody went to. Send some money over there. The historically black college and university in your neighborhood, the one you go to for homecoming, step shows, just to be around your people for the vibe. Send some money over there. And then the greatest learning institution in all the world, the Hampton University. We only asking for $18.68 on behalf of the year that the university was founded. That's it. Outside of that, y'all be safe. God is love. And the Gators are the men's college basketball national champions. We got this thing. Go Gators.
Peace. Like, follow, subscribe. See y'all shortly. Hope y'all like the set. We've done a lot of movement around.
Woo-hoo! Hey, this thing look like a Porsche.
Y'all be safe. We out of here.
Show is produced by Creative Logic Solutions. Whether the project is big or small, let Creative Logic Solutions help bring your vision to life. Catch our latest episodes and stay updated with the world of sports by tuning in to the podcast live on Mondays or catch the re-air on Dive Team Media Network, where you can also check out other Dive Team Media content as well. For collaboration, booking information, or any other inquiries, visit our website at www.thesplashcast.com. Every listen, share, and review is appreciated. Until next time.
What should they do? Like, follow, subscribe. Thank you, my friend. Be here for it.